Today is the 21st of April, Tuesday class. So our topic for tonight is significance of Wesak, because Wesak will be celebrated next month, early next month, May May the 7th, if I'm not wrong. Is a Thursday class. So on May the 7th, there will be Wesak celebration. But I was told by Brother Srian, very likely SGBA will be closed because of the MCO and post-MCO requirement. So there was a request from his side for me to do a video on this significance of Wesak. Why is Wesak so special? And why is it an internationally recognized public holiday? So I will go into that topic today. Why is Wesak so significant, so special? Like I told Brother Tony Kwa just now, before we start, I had a short sharing with him. I said most Buddhists they do celebrate Wesak, and most of them maybe will know a little bit about the reason for Wesak. They normally understand that Wesak is celebrated because we need to commemorate the triple auspicious event or occasion of the Buddha, which is his birth, his enlightenment, and his parinibbana, or passing away. But the deep meaning behind these three events, not many people understand. So tonight I will elaborate on it. Then also I will share a little bit about the history behind. Then apart from commemorating these three things, many things do happen on Wesak Day. And Wesak is an occasion where many wholesome things can arise. It's an occasion for joy, for spiritual cultivation, for recalling to mind all the great qualities of the Buddha. Then also his beautiful, unique teachings. Then also his advice before his parinibbana. Then it is also an occasion where a lot of wholesomeness can be developed or manifested on that day. We have the various event, offering, chanting, hoisting of the Buddhist flag and all those things. Then many Buddhists and monks, they have their duties, they will be helping out everywhere. Before I go into it deeper, I will start off with some historical understanding. The reason why Wesak is so important is because a lot of Buddhists during the time, I think 1940s or 40 something, they have developed good understanding of what the Buddha's teaching is and how beautiful this teaching is, and why is it so important to have a day which we call Wesak Day to celebrate this occasion, so that this teaching can be brought to the world. Because this is a very unique, great teaching. The Buddha's teaching is about great love, great compassion, and wisdom, leading to harmony and peace. It can be of great benefits to humanity and the world. So because of that, in the year 1950, the World Buddhist Fellowship, they hold an international conference, first international conference in Sri Lanka. And the purpose is to decide how they can formalize Wesak Day to be a great religious occasion for all Buddhists all over the world to celebrate. So that was the history behind. That was how it started. That noble vision that has great significance. So as Buddhists, we must understand this occasion came to be because of the hard work and the effort of all these people. So the World Fellowship of Buddhists, they organized this first international conference in Sri Lanka in the year 1950. Then after that, country by country started adopting it. And the most significant one is 50 years later, in the year 2000, the United Nations officially observed Wesak internationally at his headquarters. That gave rise to the true recognition of Wesak as a very significant celebration for the world. The recognition by the United Nations is very vital, very important. And Buddhists all over the world rejoice. That's the reason why until today we can still see this tradition being practiced and celebrated worldwide. So the first thing that we have to understand is on this particular Vesak day, Buddhists all over the world, they will celebrate Vesak. And the main purpose is to commemorate the triple auspicious occasion or events of the Buddha. In this particular case, is our Sakyamuni Buddha that existed 2,600 over years ago. The three very significant events are his birth, the birth of a Sammasambuddha. Then the second event is the day he achieved enlightenment and realized Sammasambuddhahood. And the last one is, of course, his Parinibbana, or his passing away, where he gave the advice to the monk before it happened. He advised the monk, Apamadena sampadeta, you strive on with heedfulness. So the key emphasis is heedfulness. These are the three very auspicious and significant events that took place. And the reason why Buddhists commemorate these three very significant events is because they have great meaning. Great meaning. I will go into it a bit later. I will finish on with the introduction and the activity first. Then normally on Wesak Day, Buddhists all over the world, they will assemble in their various centers or temples. Usually it's before dawn to initiate this celebration of Wesak because it is such a unique and wholesome event. Unique, wholesome, and auspicious event. So usually on this day, the first thing that they do, the ceremony that they conduct is the hoisting of the Buddhist flag. The entity, the identity that we have as Buddhists. The hoisting of the flag has great significance. And the way the flag has been designed also, there are many significance too. Then it let us recall to mind the great religious teacher, his great teaching, unique, rare, and very penetrative teaching. Then also it is an occasion for us to have this very special ceremony where we will conduct the chanting and the singing of hymns, especially the hymns that praises the triple gem, Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha. salutation to the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha. But before that, there will be some form of traditional puja activity or chanting. There will be a lot of beautiful offerings of flowers, fruits, clear water, incense, candles, and many other uh, items where we offered to the altar, to the Buddha. These offerings have great significance. It do reflect on the teaching, especially those that we commonly encounter. Yeah? Even in our own chanting book, yeah? Our own chanting book actually explain the great significance. Yeah? I will read to you so that you understand. Our chanting book on page 6. Oh, sorry, not page 6. On page 5. The special significance of all these items that we offer to the Buddha. The first one is the offering of light. What does it symbolize? We will normally chant, may this offering of light to the Buddha bring forth the causes and conditions to illuminate our mind and help arise the needed clarity and understanding to dispel all darkness and ignorance therein. So light represents wisdom, enlightenment, awakening, so that it can dispel ignorance, the darkness of ignorance. Then normally we offer clear water. When we offer clear water, we will also make this puja aspiration. May this offering of pure, clear, cool water lead us to the pure, clear Dhamma that cools and doses of our fires of the fires of all defilements within our mind. So this one is very important. Clear water denotes purity, clarity of mind. Then this pure, clear Dhamma, which has the same quality as the pure, clear water, can help us root out the defilements, thereby awakening us. Then number 3, usually we offer incense. So incense also has its Dhamma within. We will normally invoke the puja aspiration this way. May our morality, virtue, and understanding shine forth far and wide, just like the fragrance of this incense, which we are offering to the Buddha, who is perfect in wisdom and virtue. So this offering of incense is to remind us, unless you have cultivated the true Dhamma, it will not be like the incense that you can really smell the fragrance. So those who didn't really develop the cultivation leading to the awakening and the enlightenment or wisdom, there is no fragrance. So like the incense, we have to develop them. Then number 4 is usually the offering of fruits. Then we will make the aspiration. May this offering of fruits remind us of the dana parami or generosity and the fruit of karma, so that we will diligently strive on with heedfulness to attain the path and fruition as soon as possible. Then finally, of course, is the offering of flowers. This one has special significance. We will not chant our puja aspiration this way. May this constant offering of flowers to the Blessed One strengthen our faith and constantly remind us of the impermanence of this body, so that we will diligently and sincerely strive on to cultivate sila, samadhi, and panya, leading to ultimate liberation, the born-free nibbana. So flower is a very good example to denote impermanence, the transient nature of existence. So we call it ephemeral, doesn't last. So those who in charge of order, who has actually been mindful and observant, they will know. Initially, when you bought them, the newly bought flower, they are very fresh, very beautiful, full of freshness and all those things. But then after you offer, you develop the joy, the satisfaction, the happiness. But those who maintain them over the next few days, they will see them withering. Then finally, it will decay and it will go the way of nature. That's why they have to clean it, clear it, dispose of it. So this is a very interesting understanding of the Dhamma. So when you reflect on all this offering, that puja that we have during Wesak has special significance. Then not only all this offering, we have the special chanting. They will chant for the devotees' blessing. Then they have the blessing water for you too. Then the blessing string or protection string, they call it the yellow string that they have chanted over the last, don't know how many weeks before Wesak. They prepare all these things. When I was young during the early years, the early 80s, we used to go to the Redfield Temple and help out. We help clean up the temple, help prepare all those preparations for Vesak. There was so much activity. Then on Vesak Day, they also, for certain temples who are big enough, or certain centers, they will have a lot of food for people. Then they will also have their Dhamma classes, Dhamma talk, Dhamma session. And at the same time, they will also have a section where they have these Dhamma books for free distribution. Some is for sales. Then they also have this section where, especially Brickfield and even Nalanda and many other places, where they have this Sunday school or the Buddhist youth. They will come out with the teaching of the Buddha. Then they will put it like exhibit them. So these are the activity that they have. Then sometimes they will run the chanting, the monks chanting on recorded form. In the early days, I remember at Brickfield Mahavihara, they have this chanting of the Dhammapada verses. Then they also have the various style chanting for the blessing of the nation and all those things. And of course, they also have some speeches and all those things. Then they also have this vegetarian dinner, or for those temples which are not vegetarian, they have their own celebration too. Then Vesak is also normally an occasion for joy. There's a lot of joy. As Buddhists, when we attend all this Vesak celebration, we have a lot of joy. Then we recall to mind the great thing, the uniqueness of our teacher, Sakyamuni Buddha. He is not only enlightened, he is fully enlightened. And he is perfect in wisdom and virtue. So we can say he is actually the wisest and the most virtuous human being or living being ever to be born during his time. That's why the first significance of his birth is very important. It let us recall to mind the birth of a great being. Like the scripture said, the arising of a Sammasambuddha indeed is very, very rare, really, really rare. And we get to celebrate Wesak to commemorate that. And he was present in this planet of ours 2,600 over years ago. And when he arrives, he came to this world with the special message that he has perfected through his cultivation over a long period of time, eons and eons and eons, almost 3 3/4 Asankhya world cycle of perfection that enable him to have this great wisdom and virtue. That's why we are not only celebrating the birth of a great being, we are also celebrating the uniqueness of such a great being. He is not only enlightened, he is fully enlightened. He is the most virtuous and the wisest of all things. So we all have a lot of gratitude and respect towards the Buddha. And then we will cherish his teaching, his advice, so that it can benefit us, train us on the proper path, transform us in many ways, so that we can be a blessing to all, so that there is wholesomeness, there is joy, there is like happiness all around. Then also is an occasion where we can perform many meritorious actions. We not only have the occasion to make offering, donation, we can also listen to Dhamma, pay respect at the main shrine, then offer dana. You can offer any of the items that we already mentioned, flowers, incense, candles, fruits, or whatever. And then at the same time, we also can develop the cultivation, the meditation, the spiritual practice or cultivation. Then at the same time, when we listen to Dhamma, we can also reflect on them, contemplate deep into them, inquire. Then at the same time, develop the straightening of the view. So when you straighten your view, you develop meritorious action, you develop the initial wisdom. Then after that, you can share merit, transfer merit, then you can provide service to all, help out in the temple, in the collection or donation or whatever activity. Yeah. So all these are possible. Then where there are Buddhist books and all this activity, the reason for the World Fellowship of Buddhists to have this occasion celebrated worldwide is because they feel that this teaching of the Buddha and the uniqueness of such a being need to be shared with the world so that more and more people understand his special teaching, very beautiful teaching. His teaching is not only something that can help you understand life and live life, but it can help you develop the understanding of life, enabling you to live the noble life of an enlightened being. The meaning is very deep. If you can develop the understanding of his teaching and awaken and become enlightened, you will become noble ones or enlightened ones. Then you will be free from all suffering, worldly problems. The so-called problems of life, they will all cease. Then you will always develop the heedful mind, which is very, very different. This is the mind of tranquility, stillness, peacefulness, clarity, constantly aware, ever mindful within. This one is not heedless, not lost in thought. This mind is very calm, very peaceful, ever mindful. it can develop clear understanding of many things. Yeah. Then apart from that, we can also propagate it through giving this free Buddhist book or booklet, yeah, for new people. There are many, I believe, as we all know, although traditionally we are Buddhists, we call it traditional Buddhist. Most people start that way, Chinese culture, and sometimes the Sri Lanka also, they are also Buddhist. So traditional Buddhists, before they develop the clear understanding of the Dhamma, they are normally called Buddhists in inverted comma. We used to share this. We call them once a year Buddhists. On Wesak day only, yeah, they go to Buddhist temple, then they do all the donation, the offering, then develop the joy. Then of course they develop the faith because they believe by doing all this, by getting all the blessing from the monks, the chanting, and especially the water, blessed water, and also the string and all those things. But more important is the sharing of this great teaching with the world. So many Buddhists who later become true practitioner and cultivator, most of them start off with Vesak. It's on Vesak day that you go around and receive this booklet, then you come back, you read. Then sometimes your friend may collect on your behalf, they make offering donation, then they give it to you. Then as you read, if you have affinity from the past, you develop interest. You develop interest. That's how the Dhamma can be propagated, can be shared with the world. Then for those who have that past, like my case, whenever there is this Vesak during the early days, I will make it a point to go around all the temples. Then wherever I can get all those good books, I will gather them. Yeah. But because I started off from Brickfield when I was in the university, 1976, I think. I entered MU 1975-76. So those few years, I actually went to Brickfield Temple. That's where I started my encounter with Buddhism. Then I constantly listen to Dhamma. I go to the bookshop, the library. Then later on, I help out in the tape library and all those things. And Brickfield was like the temple that is very close to me and my family. I bring my children there to my wife. Then we did many things until the year 89. So after 89, I left that place. I seldom go there. Those who have met me earlier on, they will know. And there's a reason why I left. Because after that, I already more or less developed the understanding of what this teaching is. That's why I just let it be. Then many years later, condition unfold. People came to see me, request me to come out to share. That's how all these things become possible. So I also started from Wesak. Then, of course, there were other reasons too. When I was young, I had this inquiry mind. Then the first book, Chief Reverend's book, What Buddhists Believe, the first edition, the thin copy, red color. When I received it in Home 6, that was the joyous moment in my life. The moment I read that book, my nature inside there told me no need to search. This is it. There is no other teaching that can explain to me the whole of life so complete, both the mundane and the supramundane. And with that, I understood life. That's why after that, I went all out to cultivate, to seek the Dhamma, to develop the cultivation. then the rest is history. Mm. So this is the part that I want you all to understand the great significance of Wesak. If it's not because of what happened in the year 1950, we won't be celebrating Wesak today. And because they did it, that great significance, those who are responsible for it, they really, really did a good job. And I would like to thank them and rejoice in their wholesomeness. And because of them, it had created so much opportunity for us, condition for a lot of cultivators, a lot of Buddhists to develop such understanding. Uh, so this is the introduction part. Then also one last thing before I continue with the three significant auspicious events. The other thing is also on Vesak Day, as you walk towards the temple or what, you see a lot of stalls along the way until you reach the temple. Then of course you also see some beggars and others. But more important is there are a lot of Sunday school children who will come and approach you. And I like to actually give them joy and let them have the condition to experience that type of joy and happiness. Because usually they are quite shy. Uh, then when I met them, I will smile and say, come, come, come. I will buy whatever you have, I will buy. So normally it's a candle or the flower that people has offered. So they took it out and asked the Sunday school children to sell, to raise fund for their Sunday school, which is very wholesome. And I like to make offering to donation. And when I collect book during the early days, I also make offering and donation. Uh, in fact, a lot of my book, other books that I collected during the Sunday. And most of them are Master Xuan Hua's uh, uh, English translation, where he has a good set of English translation. So these are the things that you can also maybe recall to mind during the coming Vesak. But you have to do it at home, then maybe you will try to get those books later. Maybe next year's Vesak or what, I don't know. Or you can visit some of this temple. You go to their library. But if you want a more complete one, go to our website, relative.com, my Kayamita website. Or there you can find a lot free, no need to pay. You can listen to the audio file too. You can also view the video sharing. So all these are there. So this is the introduction part on the significance of Vesak. So now we will zoom in on the three auspicious events. Vesak is a very, very unique event. The celebration of Vesak is mainly to commemorate the three great events or occasions of the Buddha's birth, enlightenment, and his parinibbana or passing away. The birth is very significant is because, like I have shared just now, this is the birth of a great being, a Sammasambuddha. And to become a Sammasambuddha is not easy. You need to cultivate for aeons and aeons and aeons. Sakyamuni Buddha took the wisdom way. That's why his is the shortest. 3 3/4 full cycle or asankaya kapas, almost 4. Whereas you go the virya way, which is not the wisdom way, it may take 8 world cycle. But those who go to the faith way, Sada, like Amitabha Buddha, they will take about 12 world cycle to complete their perfection. So such cultivation and perfection are not common. They are indeed very, very rare. You not only develop enlightenment, you need to perfect the 10 perfection to become fully enlightened. Means complete in all aspects of understanding. Means perfection of wisdom, perfection of all the great virtue. That's why we have our 10 perfection, 10 paramis or paramita. So to be a Samasa Buddha is really very, very rare. That's why in the scripture he said the arising of a Samasa Buddha is rare indeed, according to the Buddha in the teaching. He said for certain world cycle, there is none at all, not even one. But for certain world cycle, there may be one Samasa Buddha. Some have two, some have three. But our this Jambuapi or our present day earth means our this world cycle. According to Sakyamuni Buddha, we will have four Sammasambuddha. He is the third one. After him, there will be one more, which I think most Buddhists will know. They call him Maitreya Buddha, the future Buddha, the laughing Buddha. So Maitreya Buddha is supposed to be the last for this world cycle. And because he is such a unique being, so wise, so virtuous, and so perfect in his understanding and cultivation, he was able to summarize all his teaching into what he called the Dhamma. So his teaching is called the Dhamma, and Dhamma is truth. That's why he teaches just the truth. And this makes his teaching unique, because his teaching is so unique, because he teaches the truth. He said you don't have to believe anything. No need to believe anything. No need to believe even the Almighty or whatever. He said his teaching is very scientific. You can investigate on it. Anybody who really is serious about it, has a faith, can investigate into it, cultivate it, develop the understanding. That's why this teaching has its uniqueness. There is no belief system within there. It's like the scientists. Yeah. Everything need investigation, need proof. Yeah. And after his complete perfection and enlightenment, he was able to summarize all his understanding into just Four Noble Truths, which is the essence of the Buddha's teaching. And this Four Noble Truths is such a priceless gem, so unique and so beautiful. Because the moment I read about the Four Noble Truths in the year 1972, I straight away knew nobody in this world can summarize all of his understanding, which is after his enlightenment, into just Four Noble Truths. So beautiful. And this Four Noble Truths explain to me all of life, both mundane and supramundane. So at that time, to me, my nature already knew he must be the real one. Otherwise, nobody can do that. Even at that time, I knew, my nature told me, even if I had become enlightened without the Buddha, without his Dhamma, I cannot summarize all of this understanding into just Four Noble Truths. That's why this Four Noble Truths to me is like the secret of life. When I understand the Four Noble Truths, when I penetrated it, awakened to it, I understand life. And when I understand life, I can live life. I can live the noble life of enlightened being. So that was the understanding, and that was so beautiful. Then later on, when I went into the cultivation, then I came to really understand what the Buddha meant. For those who understand his teaching, they will come to this understanding. The Buddha summarized all of life into nature, dhammacha, or nature. He said our universe is like nature. And nature is governed by a set of law which he called nature's law. And in his teaching, he called it the Pancha Niyamas. Niyamas are the universal order that governs life and existence. The whole universe are governed by these five great universal laws. He called it the Pancha Niyamas. And he said, if you understand this law, you understand life, you understand existence, and you will also understand the unconditioned, means beyond the conditioned world, means the enlightenment state, which is beyond thought, beyond mind. That's the reason why his teaching is so unique, so beautiful. Then he started by explaining this Pancha Niyamas. He said the first two are scientific law, which he called Uttu Niyama, the physical law of nature, and Bija Niyama, the biological order of nature. And scientists have penetrated these two laws. They have gone into it so deeply with such detail. That's why over the last 40 or 50 years, science progressed very fast. And because of that, humanity, society, civilization also evolve and progress very fast. And this is the scientific aspect. As a scientist, they will never accept anything unless they can prove it. Initially, when they are not sure, they call it laws or hypothesis. Yeah. Then after they have confirmed, then they call it no more hypothesis. It becomes a theory, means established law theory. Then they put to test, they investigate on it. Then it stand up to investigation. That's how scientists progress so fast. Then all the superstition that most religion carry, they cannot stand up to the scientific discovery and understanding. That's why when scientists come to understand gravity, the planetary movement, the star system, and all the complexity of the physical world and the biological world, a lot of belief, superstition starts to collapse. They cannot stand up to the advent of science, knowledge, scientific knowledge and understanding. That according to many great thinkers, they indeed mention of all the religion that was able to stand up to the discovery of science or advent of science is Buddhism, that can still maintain and stand pure until today, despite whatever science has discovered. Yeah. Even during the time of the Buddha, when people asked him about the star, he told them, the number of stars that is in the heaven is more than the sand on the Ganges river. At that time, he already knew. He can tell them. Yeah. So because of his great wisdom, his great understanding, he has all this understanding. Then the other three universal order or niyamas are spiritual laws, which the Buddha is an expert, foremost in it. He called it law of karma, karma niyama. That law is very powerful according to the Buddha. He said all living beings, not only human beings. We are all born of karma, heir to our karma, conditioned and supported by our karma. And we are what we are because of our karma. So karma plays such a great, significant role in our life. That's why his teaching actually start with that right view with regards to law of karma. If karma plays such a great role in each and every one of us life, then what must we do? We must take care of karma. And how do we take care of karma? That's how his advice come to be. Karma means you reap what you sow. Do good begets good, do evil begets evil. You plant the seed of evil, you reap the fruit of evil. You plant the seed of wholesomeness, you reap the fruit of wholesomeness. Knowing this, that's why you must avoid all evil, cultivate goodness, wholesomeness. Then meditate to purify your mind, to develop wisdom. And this is the advice of all Buddhas, Sammasambuddha, whenever they come. And this is the famous Dhammapada verse 183. In Pali, it's always chanted in this way. Sabba papasa akaranam, kusalesa upasampadam, sachitta parido tapanam, etang buddhana sasana. So this is the famous Dhammapada verse 183. The advice of all Buddha, they are the same, only these three. Sabbe is all, papasa is evil, akaranam is it all evil you have to avoid. Then kusalesa, kusala, wholesomeness. Wherever there is wholesomeness, you must develop them, cultivate them. Then sachitta, pariyottapanam, chitta is mind, purify your mind. And this is the advice of all the Buddha, Itang Buddhana Sasana. So avoid all evil, do good to take care of karma, then purify your mind through meditation, through training your mind to be heedful, to develop the wisdom, so that you are not afflicted in life, so that nothing in this world, in this present civilization or existence, can cause you suffering or misery, so that you are always happy, joyful, peaceful. Your mind is always heedful with the clarity within, tranquility, stillness. And this is heedful living. This is beautiful mind state. And you will have the embodiment of his noble eightfold path teaching. That's why you can become enlightened one or noble ones. And noble ones are enlightened being who has the noble qualities of the noble eightfold path within them. They have wisdom, right understanding of the five pancha niyamas, especially the three spiritual laws, karma niyama, chitta niyama, and dhamma niyama. So this spiritual law is very important, very, very important. Law of karma alone can give rise to such right view. Then the Buddha also teaches during our devotional practices or puja. We have our opening puja, closing puja. And during the puja, what do? We normally chant the salutation to the Buddha. We pay our respect. That's why you do all this, the 10 meritorious action, all you will do. Then we take refuge. Buddhang saranang gacchami, Dhammang saranang gacchami, Sanghang saranang gacchami. Then for the second time, for the third time, you go for refuge. Refuge is very important. Refuge is to create affinity with the triple gem. Without the triple gem, you cannot find his teaching. Because the triple gem has his teaching. The Buddha definitely has his teaching, where he is the fully enlightened one. Then the Dhamma is his teaching. If you have affinity with the Dhamma, you will receive this teaching. It's true. Then the Aryan disciple or the Sangha, the enlightened disciple of the Buddha, the Aryan Sangha, they also have the teaching. Otherwise, they cannot be enlightened. So taking refuge is very important. Then how to avoid evil, the Buddha say. If you keep your precept, that's why you're supposed to renew your precept, minimum 5 precepts. But on Wesak day, there are some who take 8 precepts. It's up to you. So Renewing your precept is very important. At least the 5 precepts. If you keep them, it's a meritorious action. By keeping your precept, you avoid major evil. You protect yourself. You protect your karma. When you protect yourself, you protect others because you are incapable of breaking the precept. That's why you don't harm people. You don't cheat or deceive people. You don't kill. You don't partake intoxicant. You don't lie. You don't cheat. You don't deceive. And you don't commit sexual misconduct. Yeah. So all these are very beautiful. When you keep your precept, you protect yourself, you protect others, you develop morality, wholesomeness. And without sila, without morality, you cannot have the good life. You cannot change your life. To change your life, you must follow the advice of the Buddha through keeping precept, avoiding all evil. So when you do that, your karma will be protected. Then when you cultivate wholesomeness through the four right effort, then you become different. You will develop merits, wholesomeness, paramis. And all these are like your spiritual wealth. It can bring forth the good condition and the good life, like generosity. If you develop good generosity, parami, you are very kind, very generous, help out, donate, make offering, relieve suffering, and provide people with education, food, shelter, or uh, whatever that can benefit mankind, society. So all this will come back to you, where these are your paramis. Then you will have the good condition. When you need anything, condition will arise. People will come and help you. And people will somehow like you, be a blessing to you. Then at the same time, because of your dana parami, wealth will come to you. Whatever that you want for your good life, happy life, it will come to you. That's the reason why, according to the Buddha, to change your life is very easy. Avoid Dhammapada verse 1, which is not to become heedless, to keep the precept, not to commit all those evil. Then cultivate Dhammapada verse 2. Verse 2 is the second advice of the Buddha. And verse 1 is when you break the 5 precepts, you don't follow the first advice of the Buddha, then Dhammapada verse 2 will take its course. And according to the Buddha, Dhammapada verse 1 and 2 is the twin verse. That's how his teaching come about. He said, our mind is very important. Mano, our mind. This is the Monday mind. He said, mind is the forerunner of all things. Mind is chief. When mind arises, all things arise. If you see this in your meditation, you understand this, then what must you do? You must take care of mind. That's why the Buddha said under Dhammapada verse 1, he said, if mind is chief, if mind is the forerunner of all things, when mind arises, all things arise. If you choose to be heedless, then what will happen to you? Is you don't cultivate. You don't train your mind to be heedful. You become heedless. Then you will act, speak, and think with a heedless mind that has the evil roots of greed, hatred, and delusion. Then suffering will follow you, like that cart that follow the hoof of the wheel that follow the hoof of the cart. So suffering will follow you. If you want to go through suffering, then don't blame others, because this is the result of what you choose to be, the way you choose to live your life, where you choose to be heedless. You didn't see the importance of training this mind to be heedful, to be aware. You don't understand this teaching. That's why you dare to do what you like. The heedless are as if dead, the Buddha said. Then Dhammapada verse 2 is the opposite twin verse. He said, knowing that mind is so important, he repeat, the Buddha said, mind is the forerunner of all things, mind is chief. When mind arise, all things arise. Therefore, I must take care of mind. So those who see this clearly, they will train themselves to be heedful, to be mindful. Then when they are heedful and mindful, they will know how to act, speak, think with a wholesome mind that is free of the evil roots of greed, hatred, and delusion. Because they are mindful, they are heedful, and they know what constitutes evil. The three evil roots of greed, hatred, and delusion, they are the root of all evil. So if you have them in your mind state or in your heart, you become evil. That's how you commit karmic negativity. That's how you violate your precept. That's how you fall. And your life will be affected because you are born of your karma, heir to your karma, conditioned and supported by your karma. And you are what you are because of your karma. So the Buddha said, you follow Dhammapada verse 2, train your mind to be heedful, and you act with a wholesome mind that is free of the evil roots of greed, hatred, and delusion. Then happiness will follow you, like your shadow that never leaves you. So if you want to have the happy life, follow Dhammapada verse 2. Follow the advice of the Buddha. If you are not willing, then it's up to you, your life. If you choose to be heedless, then don't blame anybody for your suffering, for your misery. So Buddhism is something that is very easy to understand. We hold the key to our own life destiny. To be happy or to be miserable is entirely our choice. So you know how to choose wisely. Choose Dhammapada verse 2. Avoid Dhammapada verse 1 by following the advice of the Buddha. So the first right view already is so powerful, so beautiful. Yeah. Then the Buddha moved on to the next spiritual law. He called it Chitta Niyama. Chitta Niyama means the universal order of mind, how our mind behave and function. Now this is Dhamma, this is meditation. If you train your mind, you develop the mindfulness, the heedfulness, then you will understand what the Buddha meant. You can see clearly how you function as a human being, how your mundane mind actually flow, move, and respond. So he called it the law of dependent origination, paticca samuppada, the dwelling. He said, based on ignorance, avijja paccaya sankhara, because you lack right view, you lack wisdom, you lack understanding. So this ignorant of the Four Noble Truth, ignorant of the spiritual law of karma, law of mind, and the law of Dhamma, which is Dhamma Niyama or truth, the last one. When you don't have this right understanding and right view, this ignorance will condition sankhara activity. Sankhara is mental activity, mental thinking, because you don't understand, wanting to know, wanting to experience. You think. At the moment you think, you make contact with the brain. And that's how thought arises. So thought consciousness arises. That's why avijja paccaya sankhara, sankhara paccaya vijnana. Mental consciousness come to be, like the physics experiment upon contact, the light bulb light up. Then this is mental consciousness. Then you input the content of consciousness through your views, opinion, and conditioning. That's how it becomes the five aggregate of form and mind. Then vijnana paccaya namarupam. He said that is how the dwelling flow. Then when the five aggregate of form and mind arise, because you are not enlightened yet, you don't have right view, then it gives rise to scarcity, self-delusion. So because of self-delusion, he said, you will have problem. That's why you will act following defilement, following wrong view, arising wrong thought, wrong speech, everything. So these 12 links are very important teaching. Then after the five aggregate of form and mind arise, he said dependent on these five aggregate of form and mind, there must be sense basis, salayatana, the six sense basis. Otherwise it cannot arise. Then because of sense basis, dependent on sense basis, there must be contact. Otherwise consciousness also cannot arise. That's why salayatana pacaya vedana. Oh, sorry, pasad. Pasad is contact. Then dependent on contact arises feeling. Feeling is vedana. That's why pasad pacaya vedana. Then vedana pacaya tanha. Feeling will condition craving. You don't have wisdom. Yoniso manasikara at the moment of sense experience. You cannot cut a feeling. You cannot stop. That's how the link moves. Then tanha pacaya upadana, grasping. You not only crave, you start to grasp. Then it condition bhava, which is becoming. You become the thing. Then after that you take birth. Means it has transgressed into action and speech. That's why you are born into that monster or that lustful thing or whatever. Then with birth comes the whole mess of suffering. This is how your mind functions. This is how you stir your mind. You react. You create fear, worry, anxiety, sorrow, and lamentation. We are through ignorant delusion. You attach, you cling. And this teaching is so beautiful. And he said, because it is dependent originating, condition arising, cause of phenomenon, that's why it's impermanent. It's not a permanent, unchanging entity. There is no permanent self inside there. That's why the five aggregate of form and mind, the human being, is impermanent, not real, dependent originating, condition arising, cause of phenomenon. You're supposed to see this in the meditation, understand this. Then understand that the form and mind is not you, but it's karmically conditioned out for you to come to this world, to live life, to go through life, to experience karma, to cultivate, to perfect yourself, to live the beautiful life, to live life to the fullest, that you are able to awaken. Then to experience life to the fullest. Then you can get to experience all of the pristine beauties and wonders of life as you develop this Dhamma understanding. Your mind become beautiful. You are very noble in all aspects of your understanding of life. When you move on from the understanding, which is right view, you will be very noble in the way you conduct yourself, the way you arise your thought process, the way you act, the way you speak, the way you live your life, the way you communicate with people. You are very noble in all aspects of life. Then you will also constantly arise the four-right effort to purify, to cultivate, to improve on yourself, to transform yourself, personality-wise, character-wise, so that you follow Noble Eightfold Path. Right view leading to right thought, right speech, right action, right livelihood, and the four-right effort. Then mindfulness you already cultivate where that is part of heedfulness. To be heedful, you have to be ever mindful. So train your mind to be mindful, then stabilize it to be ever mindful, and use it to cultivate Noble Eightfold Path. You become heedful. Dhammapada verse 23. The constantly meditative, ever mindful, and steadfast one, they will realize the supreme born-free Nibbana. So that is what heedfulness is all about. Then after that, he went on to the third spiritual law. The third spiritual law is Dhamma niyama. And this Dhamma niyama is very beautiful. It's all of his teaching. His teaching is called Dhamma. All of the other truth that he teach. And the main one is the Four Noble Truth. Of course, there are also the essential Dhamma, yeah? Like the five mental hindrance, the five spiritual faculty, the seven factors of enlightenment, the five daily contemplation, yeah? And many other essential Dhamma that he has taught. But the most important one is the Four Noble Truth. The Four Noble Truth, according to his first sermon, after his enlightenment, 7 weeks later, he was prompted by a Brahma, somebody, to go for and teach people who has little dust in the eye, who can understand him. Then he remembered his first two teachers, Alara and Udaka, but they passed away about a week ago. One of them 1 day ago, one of them 1 week ago, before his enlightenment. So he cannot teach them, he cannot go for and look for them. But he surveyed the world and realized the five ascetics that were with him should be able to understand him. That's why he walked for many days to meet up with them. Then he spoke the first sermon, Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, where he expounded this Four Noble Truth in his three turning to the five ascetics. Before he finished, Kondanya, one of them, become enlightened. He became a Sotapan. Then he followed up with Anatta Lakkhana Sutta, the Sutta on empty nature or non-self nature of the five aggregate form and mind. Then immediately all five become Arahant. That's why the teaching is so powerful, so unique. So now I will explain why his teaching, which is so unique, I call it the secret of life. When you understand this secret of life, you understand life, and you will know how to live, right? And that's how it can help you, transform you into beautiful beings, so that you can be a blessing to all, not only to yourself, your loved one, but to all of humanity and mankind. That's how you can bring about great harmony and great peace to the world, to all of humanity. So these Four Noble Truths, they are indeed very, very powerful truth. I call it the secret of life because when you understand this Four Noble Truth, you understand life, both the mundane and the supramundane. So to the Buddha, he said, the first Noble Truth that he realized is very important. He said, in this universe, there are 8 realities. If you live long enough, you will confront them. And when you confront them, if you don't have the wisdom as realized by him, the understanding, you will suffer. You will become afflicted. Dukkha will arise. So this is the first noble truth of dukkha, or the first noble truth of unsatisfactoriness or suffering. He never said life is suffering. He never said life is full of suffering or dukkha. No, he just mentioned prevalence of suffering. This is a noble truth. Suffering is everywhere if you don't have the wisdom as taught by him, as realized by him. And when you confront them without wisdom, without understanding, you will suffer. So the first 7 conditions, I think we have gone through. I will rush through it so that I have enough time. He said, the first 4 is very common to all humanity. Birth, old age, sickness, and death, he said. When you experience or confront them, they will lead to suffering, misery, affliction. Especially birth, a newborn baby, birth of our loved ones. When there is complication, when things don't go your way, suffering arises. Then with birth comes old age, sickness and death. That's why there is suffering too. Then as you age, your senses will fail you. You will have more and more problems. That's why aging, getting old is not easy. Yeah. Then when the senses fail you, your organ fail you, your whatever physical starts to deteriorate. Yeah. Even your vision, your appetite, your various bodily ache, sicknesses, your organ infested with disease and all those things. All this is going to give rise to suffering. That's why from aging comes disease and sickness. Then finally, pending death. They can be very traumatic, especially traumatic diseases nowadays. Then death of a loved one, death of the breadwinner. Uh, so old age, sickness, and death, these three, if you have gone through life, you will see the reality of it. You will see how it afflicts living beings, how it causes so much suffering and misery, fear, worry, anxiety, sorrow, and lamentation to living beings. And it is because of these three signs that the Buddha saw before he became the Sammasambuddha, before he left the palace. He saw an old man, aged, very, very fragile, very old. Then he saw a sick person, very, very sick. Then he saw a dead person. Then when he inquired, when the attendant told him, everybody that is born into this world, including him, will finally grow old, get sick, and die. He got a shock. He realized he has a problem now. Last time he didn't know. He was given everything, the best, the four palaces for the four seasons, and the best of everything. And all those around him are young people, youthful and all those things. So because of that, he realizes that all this joy, happiness, so-called blessing, they are not going to last, and they are not real. Finally, he has to confront old age, sickness, and death, which he has got no answer. That's why he immediately seek the answer. That's how he go for. He renounced war. That's how he seek. And finally, under the Bodhi tree, when he became enlightened, he found the answer. This body and mind, like the Paticca Samuppada, he realized it's not him. This body and mind is karmically conditional, condition arising, causal phenomenon. Yeah. Impermanent, not real. He has another nature which is beyond the form and mind. So when he understands that, he realized he got no more problem. Because the problem pertains to this physical body and mind, which is not him. This body, physical body, grow old, get sick and die, but not the eternal nature, not that unconditioned true nature, the Buddha nature. That one never died, it was never born. It was eternally there. So because of that understanding, he was able to break free. That's why he came out with the 5 daily contemplation. First 3 is old age, sickness, and death. He said, this body of ours, we must contemplate, go the way of nature. For it's of the nature to grow old, get sick, and die. He has not gone beyond old age, sickness, and death. So this is a very powerful wisdom, understanding, so that you don't attach and cling to this physical body. Because under the First Noble Truth, his final summary, he summarized all of suffering as self-delusion that condition us to grasp onto this so-called 5 aggregate of form and mind. First aspect, as a human being with the 4 aggregate of mind. Second aspect is the mental 5 aggregate that arises with every moment of sense experience. So he said, if you attach and cling, suffering will arise. So we can investigate, we check. If we attach deludedly to the physical body, thinking that it's me, this is I, Therefore, all this can be mine. What happened? Then I will worry about this physical body getting old, getting sick and die. That's self-security, self-delusion. If I can understand this, the contemplative wisdom will liberate my mind, and I will not attach because this one is not me. But you have to see in the meditation, the third turning, bhavana maya panya, to awaken. That one is very penetrating. The earlier one is first and second turning, not so penetrating, but good enough. Then after that, he moved on. He said the fifth condition is when you are with people whom you don't like, suffering will rise. Yeah. Especially your for ladies, married lady, your mother-in-law or your step-parents. Then sometimes it's students also at the school where they have bullies and all those things. Then sometimes you are so scared of your teachers, especially discipline teacher or your headmaster, the one that is very violent and not easy to be with. Then also when you are in your working life, career environment, where you have bosses or immediate superior who are not so friendly, when they try to pressure you, they call it management by harassment and fear. They harass you, they put fear in you and force you to deliver. So if you confront such people, you become afflicted if you don't have the Dhamma. It's not easy to deal. Then after that, the next one is separation. Actually, the fifth one should be separation. Sorry, that one is six. So I reverse it. He said separation is also a reality. Whenever there is separation from your loved one or your prized possession or your businesses, your property, your wealth, your whatever title or things that you hold on to dearly, could be your antiques and relics or whatever. Separation can happen in many forms, the Buddha said. Especially relationship failure. The first separation is divorce, or if you are not married, when you decide to terminate the relationship. That can be very traumatic too. So separation of relationship or separation from your loved one can be due to death or nature's disaster or war, riot. And sometimes nature's disaster can be very traumatic, like tsunami, earthquake. Then, right now, the more mild one, we call it COVID-19. The MCO only restrict you a bit, but you can feel it. You are being separated from your nice restaurant and the place that you used to go, like your place you frequently go. For those who like to exercise, the gym or the park or whatever. So all this is they try to separate you. And when you want to go for a walk or a drive, you can't. You are under MCO. They call it the movement control order. They prevent the spread of infectious disease. So all these are the restrictions. But of course, this fifth condition is more common when there is crisis, economic crisis, or even this COVID-19 crisis. It can lead to a lot of economic disaster or economic problems and crisis. Where a lot of economic activity cannot move on. They are like all of a sudden halted. Then with limited economic activity, then some will be out of job. Some will be having food problem. Then some may not even have the means to deal with such situation. Then there is this what they call been locked down for too long. They have this depression. They cannot take it. Sorrow, lamentation. then they become like full of anxiety, worry, what is going to happen to my career? Will I lose my job? Uh, then when I get back my job, will they still employ me? And sometimes they worry, they themselves may be infected. Then they don't have money to pay for the test. Then they cannot afford to be quarantined for 14 days and all those things. So a lot of this lack of understanding can bring about the unnecessary fear, worry, and anxiety. Then we move on to the seventh one. Seventh condition is more important. The Buddha said you cannot get what you want when your expectations in life are not met. When things don't go your way, you are afflicted too. You will suffer too. So, like most people in the career field, you expect to be promoted, but you didn't get promoted. Instead, your colleague or somebody else, which you think not so good as you, get promoted. That's why when you cannot get what you want, you suffer. Then you expect your sister, your loved one, your spouse to understand you, to remember your birthday, to care for you, to sacrifice for you, to be friendly to you or nice to you. But instead, they turn out the other way around. Most people are selfish. So when this thing happened, a lot of people went into depression. They become so unhappy. So these are reality of life and existence. The Buddha said, excuse me, I need a drink. This reality of life and existence, the Buddha said, they exist in our existential world. When you confront them without understanding, you will suffer. And they cover almost all aspects of life. That's why all of life are covered. If it's not covered under the first seven, then the last one, the eighth one, which I have mentioned just now, the Buddha said, in short, it is due to our own self-delusion, sakkayaditthi, that condition us to grasp, cling, and hold on to the five aggregate of form and mind that I call dukkha, the upadana khandhas. Khandhas are aggregate, upadana are grasping aggregate. So if you attach to your physical body or the mental form that you perceive, suffering arises. Then you attach to your feeling, whatever that you perceive, your mental state, your emotion, your views, your opinion, your conditioning, your belief system, and also to whatever you become conscious of, whatever you see, you hear, you smell, you taste, you tactile feel of things. The Buddha said, suffering will arise. Then he gives some very beautiful analogy of this five aggregate. He said the physical body is like a foam, not so real. Appear solid, appear real. But when you come near, it's just foam. Then feeling is like bubble, arise, pass away, arise, pass away. But you cling, attach, hold, then you will be afflicted. Then sankhara is like perception. Sanya is like a mirage in the desert. The mirage, the image, appear real. The perception is actually the image, and you think it's real. You think got water, got oasis. You go near, it's just a mirage. So sanya, the analogy is mirage, not real, not what you think. Whatever you perceive is just an image, not real. Then sankara, like a banana stem. He said you peel it layer by layer, layer by layer. In the core of it, at the center, there is nothing. Means empty nature of sankara activity. All of your thinking, all of your reaction to sense experience, your emotion, your fear, your anger, your unhappiness, your sorrow, your lamentation, they are not real. They are not permanent. They come and they go. They are conditioned arising, causal phenomena. That's why At the core of it is empty, no reality. Then consciousness is like a magician, the Buddha said. Really a magician. Magician is like illusionist. It creates illusion for you to see. So the illusionist is a magician. So you check everything you see, like very real. Where when you open your eye, wow, the seeing conscious, the table, everything so solid, the human being, everything like very real, animated. But then you close your eye, what happens? All the creation that you created through your seeing consciousness cease. Then is it real? No more, gone. But you open your eye again, exists again. They arise through what? Consciousness. And what is consciousness? Mental images. Understand? If your eye is not functioning, you can't even see. You cannot be conscious of what you see because your senses is not in order. So all these are dependent originating, condition arising phenomena, no reality. When condition is there, it arises. When condition ceases to be, it ceases to be. So you are supposed to see in the meditation and understand all this. Then you become beautiful. So this first noble truth is so beautiful, the Buddha said, the reality of life and existence. So whatever you can think of in life, they are all connected to this five. This eight reality. That's why the secret of life is he explained to you all of life, the reality. So these are prevalence of suffering. Dukkha is everywhere. If you confront them without the wisdom, the Dhamma, the understanding, you will suffer. But it doesn't mean life is suffering. No. That's why after that, the Buddha moved on. He not only explained to you the prevalence of suffering, this noble truth. He said there is a cause behind all suffering. This is the second noble truth. And the cause is craving, born of self-delusion. When you deludedly grasp and cling and hold, suffering comes to be. Then you can investigate on it, check. To do it, you must understand what is the five aggregate of form and mind, the first aspect and the second aspect. Then put it to test, investigate into it one by one, and check whether what the Buddha explained is true or not. So this cause of arising of suffering, which is craving, born of self-delusion, is very important. Craving is actually positive and negative. So when there is positive and negative craving, then you have what they call sensual desire and ill will. But the Buddha said craving, there are three. Not only sensual craving, kama tanha, there is also craving to be, bhava tanha, and craving not to be, vibhava tanha. That's why to be and not to be is the atta and the attaniya. Both also bring about suffering. Then after that, he said, the third noble truth is the most beautiful. He said there is a third noble truth which explains clearly to you. Suffering need not be. Enlightenment in the here and the now can be realized. You don't have to wait till you die. So if this is the third noble truth, then he gave you the understanding that life need not be just suffering. Means you can actually cultivate, develop the wisdom, the understanding to awaken, then realize this enlightenment state which is called Nibbana. Nibbana can be realized in the here and now before you die. Enlightenment in the here and now is possible. So this is very, very encouraging. This is what Buddhists look forward to. Enlightenment in the here and now is possible. Suffering need not be. You hold the key to your own life destiny. You need not suffer. That's why you must be heedful. Train your mind to be ever mindful. Cultivate, then awaken. Then you can realize this enlightenment. So this is the enlightenment path. That's why the mundane leading to the supramundane path. No more the worldly, the enlightenment, which is the unconditioned, the supramundane. Then the fourth noble truth is the best. The Buddha didn't stop there. He continued. He said, there is a fourth noble truth that teach you how to do it. There is a path that will lead to the end of all suffering. So under the fourth noble truth, the Buddha said, if you cultivate this noble eightfold path, which I have touched on earlier on, it will lead to the end of all suffering. And this is what enlightenment is all about. To be enlightened is to realize the wisdom so that you are free from all suffering. That's why his whole teaching, the supramundane and the mundane and the supramundane, all of life, they are so beautifully summarized and explained. That's the reason why when I saw it in the year 1972, my heart rejoiced. And I knew, no need to search, this is it. That's how I went all out to cultivate this teaching since then. So this will finally bring to the more or less towards the end of the explanation of the significance of Wesak. Because this teaching is so unique, so beautiful. It's like the secret of life. When you understand this teaching, you understand life, then you can actually transform your life. You can develop this cultivation to transform yourself personality-wise, character-wise, understanding-wise. You become completely different. That's why you can become a noble being, noble in all aspects of life, holding the embodiment of the Noble Eightfold Path. So this will cover the second event, which is the enlightenment of the Buddha. And the real significance is his teaching. The birth is his special cultivation, perfection, the great being. Second one is his teaching. This teaching is a priceless gem. It can bring forth great love, great compassion, wisdom, harmony, and peace to the individual, to the world, to humanity. That's why this is what Wesak is all about. It's great significance. And because it has so much benefits and it is so unique and so beautiful a teaching, the world really need this teaching. When you have this teaching, the world will be different. When all of humanity have this teaching, the world will be very different. The reason being, this teaching can be understood by everyone. You don't have to believe anything. You don't have to give up your religious label to come to learn Dhamma. The Dhamma is about truth. It's nothing to do with a religious label. It's just understanding truth, like a scientific truth. It's very scientific. And you can investigate into this teaching. You silence your mind, develop tranquility, stillness, awareness, sati. Then you understand all this. And all these teachings are not difficult to comprehend, not difficult to realize. It's just like the scientists. In fact, it's easier than science. Some of these science are very sophisticated, like theory of relativity, quantum mechanics, and all this. Some of this, I may be a science student and engineer, but I may not know the whole thing. But I find it very interesting. It's really beautiful. Then the last part is the parinibbana of the Buddha. I finished the one that we can end. Oh, 10:07, yes. So the third occasion or event is the parinibbana of the Buddha, the passing away of the Buddha. And so during that event, before his actual parinibbana, there was some beautiful Jataka story also. It seems there was a last person who met him and asked him some question about the teaching. That's why they call it the Parinibbana Sutta, Nipan Jing. This sutta is very interesting. He came and asked, then Ananda been caring. He told this particular person, he said, no, the Buddha is very sick. Please do not disturb him. Then the Buddha overheard him. Then I think he told Ananda to let him in. So he was the one that asked him the last question. He said, is it true? He said, that Buddhism or his Dhamma is the only teaching that can really bring about enlightenment, transformation. He said, how do we know? The way the Buddha answered him was very beautiful. He said, you check. He didn't even want to say Dhamma or Buddhism or whatever. He said, whichever teaching that has this noble eightfold path that he has taught, then the world will not be short of enlightenment. That's why the noble eightfold path is the meditation. As long as this noble eightfold path is around, the world will never be short of enlightenment. So this part is worth mentioning, Nibbana Sutta. Then the last advice that he gave to the monks or the disciple before he passed away also very important. He stated very clearly before his parinibbana. He said, O monk, apamadena sampadeta, strive on with heedfulness. So this message is very important because it ties in with his apamada verses on heedfulness. The first three verses, verse 21, 22, 23. Well, under the Dhammapada saying, there are 20 verses that is under heedfulness or apamada vaga, verse 21 until 40. Verse 21, 22, 23 are the most important ones. Verse 21, the Buddha say, heedfulness is the path to the deathless, whereas heedlessness is the path to the dead. The heedful never die. The heedless are as if dead. So that is the reason why he says, strive on with heedfulness. The moment you are heedful, you are destined for enlightenment. The heedless are as if dead. Without heedfulness, you are as if dead. Spiritually, you are dead. That's why all of meditation, cultivation, start with heedfulness. And heedfulness got two parts, according to the Buddha. After he proclaimed verse 21, he proclaimed verse 22. He said, distinctly understanding the big difference between being heedless and being heedful, the wise one will intend on heedfulness. And by doing so, they will rejoice in the rhyme of the Aryas, means they will definitely become enlightened beings. Aryas are noble enlightened beings, noble ones, enlightenment. Then verse 23 confirm everything. He said, the constantly meditative, ever mindful and steadfast one, they will realize this supreme born-free Nibbana. Ever mindful means train your mind to be mindful, to be aware, then stabilize it to be ever mindful. Then use it to cultivate Noble Eightfold Path, which is the meditation as taught by the Buddha. Then you become constantly meditative, ever mindful. That's how you become heedful. And the moment you are heedful, you are home. So to meditate, to cultivate is not difficult. Train yourself to be heedful. The moment you are heedful, you will have the initial wisdom. You will have sati sampajana. Because if you cannot be ever mindful, you cannot be in the state of sati sampajana, constantly meditative, ever mindful. Means mindfulness and clear comprehension. Your daily mindfulness very stable. So these are step 4 and step 5 of Avijja Sutta. That's how you become enlightened and awakened. So all this represent the true significance of Wesak. So with this, I will end my today's sharing. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, then we can maybe open up for Q&A if there's any question. Jayanta, you want to say something? Yeah. Yes.
Can you please explain a bit more further on perception is like a mirage?
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. You see, the analogy that the Buddha gave is perception is like a mirage. We, as science students, we know last time when we study science and geography, when you are in the desert, you tend to see this mirage from far, thinking that there's an oasis there or a pool of water and all those things. And when you move forward until you reach that place, then you realize it's just a mirage, a reflection. It's not the real one. So our perception, if you have the mindfulness and the awareness, you can see it very clearly. It's just the image, no reality. Whatever you perceive is a phenomenon. Anything perceivable by the mind is a phenomenon. Can you follow? That is the definition of phenomenon. So perception can happen in any of the six sense bases. Like the example I gave you, seeing consciousness. How do you perceive seeing consciousness? Through what? The mental image, isn't it? Color, shape, and form, understand? Uh, then everything like arise already, real already, exists. Then I say, close your eye. What happened? The whole creation cease. Do you understand? So is it real? That's why perception sometimes can be misleading. Like that day, I think Song, he gave a sharing about during the meditation, his leg, then all those phenomena. Then at first he perceived it as if there are mosquito and all those things. But then when he checked, there was none. So perception can be false. So a lot of things that really being perceived is actually wrong perception. Where you use your memory, your views, your opinion, and your conditioning. You didn't have the direct seeing, the direct perception, the pure perception. And you cannot see how you function as a human being. At the moment of sense experience, how perception went in. Because your mindfulness, if it's not stable enough, you cannot stay there. Sometimes you are so stable in your mindfulness, you can be at the moment of perception without the word. Just the pure, direct seeing, awareness, without the word. You can stay there. Yeah. Even at the moment of contact, passan. No, of course, no sound. You can stay there. Then at the moment of consciousness, that pure consciousness, that pure seeing before the content went in. So you need to be very mindful, especially in your daily mindfulness. I remember there were a period of training during the early years. I remember 1988 or what, where I was very mindful throughout the day. Then when I was traveling, I just silent my mind and relax. Then I saw the image in my forehead. I saw them. Then I realized it was the image that conditioned me to understand what I perceive. Without the image, there was nothing. That's why I came to know it was an image up in the brain. Then the brain has this ability to make it upright and create the perception for us. So this mental image, you must learn how to be mindful of them. And this one is not easy to do unless your mindfulness is very stable for you to see all these things. Okay? Yeah, Janta. Does that explain to you?
Yes, but
It's just an image in your brain. So the other form of perception is the same. Hearing, you can perceive what you hear also. Then smell, taste. Because that perception is the mental activity up there, the brain there that perceive. The aggregate come out. But before you perceive, there was nothing. But you must have this mindfulness that has the stability and ability to be there at the moment of sense door activity or consciousness, at the moment of contact. Then you can stay at the moment of feeling. Feeling become pure feeling. It cannot be conditioned into craving. Then you have the wisdom, the Yoniso Manasikara, or the turning wisdom. Then it stay there. It's like I use the word stop there. Then you want it to move, it move. You don't need to move, it stay there. Then you want to perceive, you want to know what it is, then only the perception went in. That is your sanya aggregate. That's why all these five aggregate, you can see them moment to moment. And they are very clear, very clear. That's how you can, that's how you understand them. That's how you see the link and all this. And this teaching become an understanding. It's no more a theory. You really, through your training, when you silence your mind, maintain awareness, then you start to see all these things. Okay? Yeah. Yeah, yeah.